If you were going to a campfire, what snack and drink are you bringing?
Let's see. Maybe something a little bit more savory because we've already got s'mores. So maybe we'll bring some really good popcorn.
Hi ho everybody, and thank you for joining us around the campfire. Welcome to Camp Ever After. My name is Joey, and this is your cozy corner of Disney. Once a month we go ahead and talk to a Disney content creator about their journey, and today is a huge guest. It's a personal celebrity for me, probably for a lot of you. It's Disney Food Blog. Let me get into who I am before we get into who they are. My name is Joey. I'm a Castle Explorers travel advisor who specializes in helping families experience the magic of Disney, especially those who have never done it before. So that sounds like you. Go ahead, let me know, and we'll get you going. It's free. Why not do it? But you're not here for me. You're here for Disney Food Blog. So let's go talk to her. Go ahead and pull up a chair. AJ from Disney Food Blog. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing great, Joey. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I can't believe that you agreed to do this. I've been watching your videos since me and my wife got engaged in 2019, and we were getting ready for our
Yay!
honeymoon trip. And I knew nothing about Disney, and now pretty much everything I know is thanks to you.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. I hope we did right by you.
So this is like a very starstruck moment for me. So before we get into it, why don't you go ahead and let everyone know who you are and what you do?
Sure. I'm AJ Wolf. I started Disney Food Blog way back in 2009, um, and currently run Disney Food Blog, allears.net, and also am the author of Disney Adults, which just came out in August.
I had absolutely no idea that you ran all ears.
Yes, yes, I have followed All Ears since the 90s, since Deb Wills first started it. And when she was ready to sort of pass the torch, my husband and I, who run our company together, were hoping that she'd be willing to sell it to us, and she did. So we've had it since about 2014.
Wow, that's that's amazing. So before we get into anything, well, I say serious, but nothing is serious here. But let's get to know you a little bit through the lens of Disney. So, what's your favorite Disney
Sure.
movie?
Favorite Disney movie is Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
That's an obscure choice, but all right.
What's your favorite, Joey?
Ratatouille, and it's not even
Oh,
close.
I see that on behind you on the wall.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
it's not even close. If even if you asked me what's my favorite movie and you didn't have the Disney,
Yeah.
it's Ratatouille.
Oh, that's awesome.
What about your favorite character?
Mickey Mouse.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Um, Song?
Hmm. Favorite song. Well, probably anything from Bedknobs and Broomsticks. I love those songs. Also, kind of partial to the songs in Frozen 2 because my kid really loved that movie, and so I heard him a lot.
Right. Yeah, the Cars is on a lot in our household.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet. How? What are your kid? You have boys or girls
I
or
have two boys,
two boys? Oh, yeah.
3 and 3 months.
Okay. Well, get ready for the cars.
Lots of cars. He was playing with his little toy cars today, and he's got them all over the living room.
Yeah.
What do you think the most overrated Disney movie is?
Let's see. Overrated Disney movie. That's real tough. Maybe one of those. Maybe one of those like sequels, like a live action
Hmm.
sequel, or you know a two or a three or something like that. I think that people really love particular characters, and they just want more of those characters, and so it's okay that the movie maybe isn't as good as it could be. So something like that, probably.
That's fair. Excuse me. Now you are big Disney foodie. What about the most
Hmm.
overrated food in Disney?
Overrated food in Disney. I'm not a huge fan of like the standard Disney burgers and stuff like that. Like I don't think they do a super great job with counter service and fast food burgers. They do a good job over at Deluxe Burger in Disney Springs, but I will probably avoid fast food burgers in Disney for the most part because they just don't. They're not worth it. There's other stuff to get.
Yep. Fun fact: we go to Deluxe Burgers every trip
Do ya?
because of one of your videos,
Yay!
and it's our favorite place to go.
Oh, they do a great job. They
Oh
do a
yeah.
great job with their burger blend, and then the guys from Deluxe, the chefs from Deluxe came over to Sci-Fi and actually brought the burger blend there as well. So I think it's the same one over there.
Yeah. So what we did when we took our son for his first birthday is we watched. I think you had just released your ranking of every restaurant in every
Mm.
park and Disney Springs and the resorts. So we
Yeah.
watched all of those videos like 6 times
Oh,
and got the
awesome.
guides that you were giving out
Nice.
and listed off everything that we wanted so that if we were near one of them when we were hungry, we knew exactly where
Yeah.
to go.
Smart. That is the way to do it. Is just pre-plan and make sure you have that list right in front of you so you know what's closest to me right
Right.
now. That's going to be good. Yeah.
Moving, I guess we already hit the parks, but what's your favorite attraction?
People mover.
All right, yeah, that's a big one. Um, do you have a least favorite attraction?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't tend to ride Mission Space very much because I do not, it does not agree with me in terms of my stomach. And I will say, I used to be able to ride Expedition Everest over and over and over and over again, and now I can't even get through one ride on it because I'm getting older, and for some reason, when you get older, you start to get sick on rides. So I can't ride that one very much anymore.
And lastly, if you could have any story told by Disney in an animated movie, what would it be?
Yeah. That's an interesting one. I don't know. I have to think a lot about that, Joey. I'm not sure. Um,
For me, it's pirates. I don't think we have
oh,
enough
okay.
pirate material for
I
kids.
see. So you're looking for what kind of live action story or what like ride story would we want
Or
to
anything.
see?
Someone
Yeah.
told me they wanted a 40s period piece, I think he said. I was
That's
like, all right.
awesome.
Or it was
Oh,
maybe
that's
his
so
50s,
wild.
60s, somewhere in that area. He wanted a period piece.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd have to put some thought into that. I think there are a couple of rides that could absolutely lend themselves though to interesting animated films, I think. So I'll have to think next time we'll talk about that.
So we'll move into your journey into Disney. So I assume you were, but were you a fan when you were a kid?
Yeah, I was a fan when I was a kid. I'm mostly a parks fan, so I'm not as much a movies fan or a music fan as a parks fan. And so my parents, every once in a while, we would take a spring break trip down to the beach in Florida. I grew up in New York State, and so we drive down and we get a condo on the beach and then go to Disney like one day, and so that's when I really started to become kind of a Disney parks fan.
Yeah, it's always funny because when I interview people, I always forget that all of these people that I'm interviewing are Disney adults because of the parks, whereas I'm a Disney adult because of the movies.
Yeah, I mean, and they were not necessarily, there are lots of Disney adults, but that's something that I found kind of writing that book is that people are in different categories. There are Disney movie adults who don't even care about the parks at all, and there's Disney parks adults who don't know anything about the movies, and it's just such a broad, it's such a broad company. There's
Hmm.
just so much going on. So
Yeah, because I always like to say that Inside Out turned me into a Disney adult
Yeah,
because I had never been to the parks until
yeah.
we took my son for his first birthday, and
Oh,
it
wow.
just exploded after that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
um, when you think of your childhood and Disney, what memories come up?
Mostly the memories of going to the parks with my parents when I was a little kid, so and it's primarily Epcot. I don't actually remember Magic Kingdom. I don't
Hmm.
remember ever going to Magic Kingdom. I'm sure we went. But it's all Epcot. That's all I have memories of. And then a little bit of MGM Studios, after 1989. So that's really, I was definitely an Epcot 80s kid.
All right. How, when and why, I should say, did you start creating content about Disney?
Started creating content about Disney in about 2006 or 7, but I will say that I was on the message boards, from the time in the early 2000s. I was on the message boards, which I guess is creating content because you're writing questions and answering questions
Yeah.
online. In terms of creating my own kind of websites and um, getting into social media, that was 2007 where I really started up with that. And then, of course, we didn't really have any social media at that point, so it was all websites. Then once I started Disney Food Blog in 2009, that's when sort of Twitter was emerging. Facebook was no longer college only. So anybody could get on Facebook. And then you started to see Instagram, I believe 2010, 2011 is when that really kind of came to its height. And so that's really when I started on that
Hmm.
journey.
What inspired you to start making Disney food blog?
It's something I wanted to exist, right? Because back then Disney did not publish menus for
Hmm.
their restaurants. They didn't publish any food photos, and nobody was really doing anything that was really visually focused around food, and nobody was doing anything niched down to food in terms of Disney. And so, knowing that you're going to go to Disney and you're going to spend almost as much on your food as you are on your hotel or tickets, I wanted there to be a resource for people to see what they were actually going to get so that they can make smart decisions, especially because back then you had to book your restaurant 6 months in advance. And so, how in the world are you supposed to know where you want to go?
Right.
So that's why I started it, because I wanted it to exist. I wanted it to be there, and it wasn't.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, you Disney food blog videos are pumped out daily. I don't think you do the weekends. Maybe you do. Obviously, correct me
Yeah,
if
we
I'm
do
wrong there.
five. We do five a week. So we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
So they
No,
are
I don't know. I
incredibly
missed. Nope. Thursday, Saturday.
they they are incredibly produced videos. I imagine you have a whole team behind you. So what's that process like of making a video?
For the videos
Yeah.
specifically, so for the videos, it's my kind of video production team. We all sort of come up with the concepts. So what are the titles? What do we want to actually say in the videos? Um, and then my script writer, Bria, will write up a script. Well, she'll send me an outline first,
Right.
and I'll edit her outline, and then she'll write up the script and send that to me. And I'll make any changes that we want to make to it. And then it's voiceover. So I record voiceover, and then everything goes to, and then the package comes together. Somebody goes and pulls all of the footage that we need. And then that all goes to the video editor, and they put it all together.
Um, I so your videos have inspired what I do on my channel because I do Disney news in 60 seconds or less. Because
Great.
Disney news is, I think, what speaks to me the most. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, I tried doing YouTube, and I was
Yeah.
like, I can't. I don't have the ability or the time to do anything close to what you guys do. So I started just doing it on TikTok instead. But
Yeah.
your videos, I, they are the gold standard of Disney videos in my mind.
Thank you. That's awesome. And I will pass that on to the team as well.
um, what would you be doing if you weren't doing Disney?
Um, so my career before this was fundraising. So grant writing, grant making. So I'd probably still be in that world, grant making, in the philanthropy world.
All right.
Maybe, I don't know. That was like 20 years ago. I don't know. I don't know what I've been doing. Maybe, things change. That's what I always tell kids, you don't want to kind of decide what you want to be when you grow up until you grow up because it may not exist yet. When I was in college, what I do now didn't exist. So you just have to kind of keep your options open and move in directions where you feel your skill sets
Right.
can contribute.
Right. So you said that you started out doing the food stuff, hence food blog. When did
Yeah.
you start transitioning away? Well, not away, but to branch out to more like the rides and the resorts and.
Yeah, I mean, probably pretty quickly after, we started in 2009, probably by 2012 or 13, we were covering everything. And it just made more sense because it was something that our audience was looking for anyway. And if they
Right.
trusted us on food, they also wanted to trust us on the rest of the stuff. And so, we were there, we were gathering that information. So why not share that too?
Right. So you're not local, right? So do you have people
No.
that are local that gather your?
Yes. Yes. So we've got people in the parks every day on both coasts, in Disneyland and Disney World. And so they're covering everything that comes up, every new food item, every news situation going down. We're going to be there and day after tomorrow when Ratatouille reopens and see what they kind of change in the ride and all of that stuff. So yeah, we're just on the ground making sure everybody gets the updates as soon as it happens.
That's amazing. Um, excuse me. What has been your most popular video, if you know?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. The videos that are popular tend to be the ones that go broader and wider past a Disney audience, right? So those are going to be the ones that tend to be a little more, I guess people could see them as scandalous, like videos that are like, what gets you kicked out of Disney World, that sort of thing. So what you're going to see go big are the videos that go beyond your typical audience usually.
Right. What has been your favorite video?
It really depends. I really like the videos that we do. Every once in a while, we'll do a video that's like what I just learned on my last trip, right? Which goes over, here's a bunch of mistakes we just made, because I think people assume that because we're in the parks every day, we know everything and we don't screw up. But Disney keeps changing stuff all the time. And so, and it's such a huge, footprint that there's absolutely stuff that we're going to do wrong and we're going to mess up and we're going to, wish we'd done something differently. And so those videos I think are very useful for folks because they can kind of see, for even the experts who know everything, here's what we do. Here's what we wish we hadn't done, like here's what I learned. I really learned and I will not do that again. I think those are fun to make and fun to share because it's also usually brand new content. It's usually something brand new that we've never even thought about before, and we get to kind of throw that out there. So, and I think they're incredibly valuable, which for me, content has to be valuable in order to be worth making and fun to make. And those, I think, a lot of people really enjoy those because it's like, oh man, I didn't even think about that.
What has been your hardest content?
Let's see. For the videos specifically, I think it's difficult to make content that is very controversial or about controversial subjects. So content about the Galactic Star Cruiser was difficult because I think people really wanted to hate that particular experience because of its cost and because there was a lot of social media negativity around it.
Mm-hmm.
And so doing content around that and being completely unbiased and honest about our experience was difficult because we knew it was going to be received negatively no matter which direction we
Right.
went with it. So, we had to be very careful and stick to what we truly believed and factual information about it and the experience that we had, and just had to put it out there, both positive and negative.
Right. So that goes into my that transitions nicely into the next question. What's been the biggest challenges that when it comes to content creation?
So the biggest challenges, I think, move my little mic here, but the biggest challenges are always going to be that the the platforms are constantly changing, the algorithms are constantly changing, and the audience is constantly changing, right? So I always tell people that even though we've been around for almost 20 years, we are always a startup, because every year digital media is going to change drastically. There's going to be another platform that you have to adapt to. There's going to be a different generation coming into the audience. And so you can never rest on your laurels or just kind of stick to what you've always done, because it will age out eventually, and probably sooner than you think. And so you're constantly looking at how is the landscape changing across all of those, different, I guess, variables, and how can you make sure that you're giving your audience what they want and what they need at that particular time, and in what format they're looking for it. Like nobody's reading blogs anymore, right? And so they're consuming content via short form video. So you have to, if we were just writing blogs the way we were when we started, it would not be of use to our audience. And so you
Right.
have to continue to make yourself useful to your audience.
Have you had any major setbacks that you had to overcome?
I think there are always going to be setbacks. Again, like I said, things are constantly changing in the space, and so you may have worked really, really hard on making sure that this particular process works really well for you and your team or your audience, and then something will change completely. Google will decide, oh, we're going to shift the way the algorithm works, or TikTok will come in and say, oh, this isn't happening anymore, or whatever, because you're always sort of beholden to these third parties. And so any changes that they make can absolutely change something that maybe you worked for years trying to create. So you just constantly have to expect that
Hmm.
things are gonna change completely next year. Next year's business plan is gonna be completely different from this year's business plan.
Yeah. Um, Disney has a lot of rules. Have you had any problems with them, with you having to fit in certain guidelines to keep doing something that you're doing, or to get, because I'm assuming you've been invited to things by Disney.
Right. Um, No, we haven't had any issues or problems. We tend to not be the creators that are trying to push the boundaries and break
Hmm.
the rules. Like we've never. It's absolutely our policy that we are not going to stick our camera above the construction wall
Right.
to try to get a picture behind the construction wall. We're not going to stick our camera, in between the bushes to see what's going on back there. That's just not morally and ethically how we conduct our reporting and our journalism. And so, um, if Disney's got an embargo, we're not going to break that embargo. And if Disney is very, very clearly constructed some sort of barrier that they don't want guests seeing beyond, then we're not gonna do that. Like that makes no sense to us. To do that kind of sort of expose journalism.
Hmm.
So um, my relationship with Disney has been relatively positive. I think that they are very clear that we're going to be honest and we're going to be unbiased and we're going to tell the truth about our experiences, but that it will be a constructive criticism and there will be a positive kind of maybe this restaurant isn't for you because of X, Y, and Z, but then we would recommend this restaurant instead, kind of thing. And so I don't think that Disney has had any significant issues with the work that we do, and I think we continue to stay independent in a way that a lot of other creators can't or aren't, because we do work for our audience. We don't work to impress Disney.
Right. So outside of content creation, you have a couple other avenues that you work with. Like you make merch and
Hmm.
your park guides and everything. So
Yeah.
what's what do you like about all that? Like, what's your favorite merch that you've made? What's your favorite guide that you've made?
I mean, we started the DFB guides back in like 2010, 2011. So we've been publishing those for a long time. I think those are incredibly useful to folks. So I love that we put those out there. And merchandise, I think, is just fun to build on the brand we've created. You know, that we've got, plastic cheese merchandise or
Hmm.
merchandise that's related to things we say all the time in the videos. And I think that's really fun. Probably my favorite thing we've made is our Disney adult hat that we've got now, which is really just a extremely high quality product, and it's comfortable and it's fun to wear and it's got a nice vibe. I love it. So that's great.
Yeah, that is a gorgeous hat. I am a fan of hats. I have a whole stack
Yeah.
of
Oh,
them.
look
So
at
I was looking at that I think yesterday, and I was like, that is a beautiful blue.
it is. It's gorgeous. I love it.
uh, um, so speaking of the hat, I'm assuming you released that in tangent with your book.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, how long have you been working on that?
So the book we started on the book in about 2023, is when Simon and Schuster Publishing Company reached out to me and asked me to do this book. And so I started in 2023 to the research and the pitch and everything like that. And then 2024 was really the nonstop 24/7. Everywhere I went, my computer was with me to get that book done and get all the interviews done and everything I needed to do. And then at the beginning of 2025, we were wrapping it up with the final edits. And then of course Disney announced Abu Dhabi, and I was like, wait, stop the presses! Literally, we need to put Abu Dhabi in this book. So it took about 2 years total.
I used to dabble in writing. That is not for me. So
It's okay. That's all right. We all have different skills.
so that it is about being a Disney adult. So everybody I interview, the answer is the same, but I always ask it: do you consider yourself a Disney adult?
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
So, um, what does being a Disney adult mean to you?
So how I define it in the book is someone who willingly and purposefully brings Disney into their life for whatever reason. So they choose Disney, whether or not they have kids. That's sort of the definition of a Disney adult for me and for all of the psychologists that I talked to about it to nail it down.
All right, and I think most people most commonly relate being a Disney adult with the parks. So, have you been to every Disney park?
Um, no, I have not been to every Disney park. My team has been to every Disney park, and I will get there eventually.
Which ones haven't you been to?
The China parks I've not been to
Okay.
yet, so I'll get to those.
Yeah, when you were releasing videos about Tokyo, the new area that they just opened. I was
Yeah.
like, man,
Oh,
I
it's
wanted
so
to go
great.
over there so bad.
It's so great. You got to go, Joey.
um, and I'm assuming, how many Disney cruises have you been on, like ship wise?
I've been on like, how many ships have I been
Yeah.
on? I've been on all the ships except the Destiny. My team's on the Destiny right now.
Oh wow.
For that first christening cruise. So they're there right at the moment, literally on the ship, and I'm not there because I had a book signing last week and a book signing this week, and I speak at a conference next week, so
Hmm.
I wasn't able to get away for it.
Would you choose to go to the parks or on a cruise?
It really depends on how tired I am. Um,
That's fair.
like right now I love the parks all the time. The cruises are just so much more relaxing, and there's a lot less like FOMO and stress. And so the cruises, I think, are a real vacation, whereas the
Right.
parks are more of an active vacation.
Yeah, my whole family, not like my wife and kids, but my mom and my sisters and their kids, none of them are interested in Disney.
Right.
But they like cruises. So I was like, let's meet in the middle. Let's go on a Disney
Yeah.
cruise.
Oh, that's perfect.
No, they still don't want to do it.
Nah, they don't want to do it. That's okay.
I was
That's
like,
all
all right,
right.
I'm
Tell them
going
that.
without you
Tell them
then.
you'll go on one for them.
So do you think land or world is better?
Um, they serve different purposes. I love Disneyland because it's so small and compact, easy to get around. You don't have to, board any buses or get on any transportation. And so it's got a much sort of lower bar to experience, I think. And I think that the food is better at Disneyland as well. And so I tend to um, prioritize land over world for that reason.
Hmm. Have you eaten at every restaurant?
Yes.
Wow. Well, congrats.
Thank you.
I am way too picky of an eater, so that is something I will never do. I am happy
Yeah,
with
I'm a
going.
very picky eater too, but because of what I do, I have to, and
Yeah,
so it's actually really broadened my horizons a lot in terms of the food that I like because I've had to go to all these restaurants and try new things.
yeah. I'm happy with doing quick service everywhere and then doing garden grill at Epcot, and that's fine by me.
That's great. That works.
um, do you like the international? Do you like any of the international parks better than the domestic parks?
I do think that Tokyo is the best park,
Okay.
hands down. I think that Tokyo Disney Sea is just a phenomenal park. And the reason why, what you can really see is that they have the Disney Imagineering, but they have the Oriental Land Company money, right? And
Right.
so you've got a lot more money that's been sunk into that park. And so it's a lot, the theming is just um, so multifaceted and so much stronger there.
Right. I hear a lot of people say that that is a much better run park because there's not as much penny pinching going on.
I mean, maybe that might have something to do with it. It could just be cultural as well,
Yeah.
like um just the approach to how those experiences are run could be culturally different
Hmm.
from how it's approached here.
So I'm going to need you to rank the six domestic parks, worst to best.
Okay.
Not
Let's
necessarily
see.
worst. I don't think there's a bad Disney park.
There's no worst, just least best, right? Probably I would put DCA at probably I would DCA at the least best. Um, I'll have to rethink that once they open all the new stuff that they're going to build there. And then I would probably put, it's so hard because I love Animal Kingdom, but I'd probably put Animal Kingdom. Then I'd probably throw Magic Kingdom and then Disney. No, no, no. Then I do Hollywood Studios and then Disneyland and then Magic Kingdom and then it.
You listed Magic Kingdom twice, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
You said Animal
DC,
Kingdom, Magic Kingdom.
DCA, Animal Kingdom, um, Hollywood Studios, Disneyland, Magic Kingdom, Epcot.
All right. Yeah, Epcot's great. I don't even. I'm not a foodie and I don't drink, but there's just something about Epcot that's just. It's just a great place to be.
I know. I love it.
Magic Kingdom's my favorite though. When I think of Disney, that's everything that immediately pops in my head is in Magic Kingdom.
Is Magic Kingdom. Yeah. Was that
So
your first park that you went to?
no,
No?
No, we made it the grand finale of the trip.
Oh, okay,
So
great.
I think Epcot was the first, and then we did Animal Kingdom, and then we did Magic Kingdom. We didn't
Okay,
go to
oh,
Hollywood
cool.
Studios because there's literally nothing there for my kids to do.
Right, yeah.
What is your favorite memory from the park?
Probably like 1985 Epcot, just with my family going on World of Motion. That time frame I think has a lot of positive memories for me.
When's your favorite time to go to the parks?
I like to go at Christmas time, not the Christmas week, but beginning of December. That's one of my favorite times to go because it's not as hot,
Right.
and I love Christmas, so I like all of those elements that are the decor and everything. And but I do think that I would go to Disney World anytime that's not the middle of the summer, if possible.
Yeah, I went in August. Never again.
No, it's a lot. It's a lot, and especially when you're eating everything at the Food and Wine Festival at every single booth, by yourself, which is what I used to do back before I had a team, in the middle of, just the hottest time of the year. It's a lot.
Yeah. So what is? You've been there a lot, so I'm curious to hear your answer for this. What's the most magical moment you've ever witnessed?
Um, Witnessed. Oh gosh. I don't know really. I guess the one that sticks out in my head is when my kid was super into Test Track. He was probably 4 or 5, and super into Test Track, and he was wearing his Test Track T-shirt. And we got off the ride, and the cast member said, "Well, if you're a Test Track fan, you better go again," And so she let us kind of go backstage and ride again because he had his Test Track shirt on. And I think that is just just a little bit of that magic that cast members can create. I don't think they realize how much that means to people.
Right. Yeah, I can't. My son is he. We when we turn on our TV, it shows suggested YouTube videos because it's a smart TV, right? And
Yeah.
your thumbnails are always up there because it's either Disney Food Blog or Good Mythical Morning. So
Yeah.
he goes
Awesome.
Disney, and he is so
Oh,
excited to go back. He
oh,
still talks
yeah.
about the trip, and he hasn't been there since he was 2. And I'm like,
Oh,
how do you even
wow.
remember? You were 2 years old, but he is so excited to go back.
Oh, that's gonna be so fun because he's gonna be able to ride so many more things
Oh
too.
yeah. Um, if you had to give one tip to a first-time visitor, what would it be?
Don't try to do everything, right? But have that priority list of the 2 or 3 things you want to do in each park. Or don't even go to each park, but all the parks. If, like you said, your kid, there was nothing for your kid to do in Hollywood Studios, so why even go? Let's wait till he's older. So I think people always try to do everything, and that will inevitably ruin your trip. You will not have fun. So just have your 2 or 3 priorities, and then everything else is gravy after that.
Oh yeah, that's what I tell everybody. Like when they show me itineraries or anything, I'm like, you're gonna be miserable. Don't try
Yeah,
to stick to
yeah, and
a
you really are.
schedule.
People don't. I even now I will overplan. Like I will overpack my plans, and I will know this isn't going to happen. Like I'm not going to be able to do this. And sure enough, like by afternoon, I'm like, nope, we got to check the rest of this out because I gotta get back to the hotel.
Yeah, I tell everybody like what you said. Just pick a handful of things that you want to do. Pick
Yeah,
a couple must dos, and then just go from there.
exactly. Yep.
So the last thing is where. What do you like? What is your ultimate goal that you want to see come from your content, Disney food blog, all the years, like apparently.
The reason why we get up in the morning is to make sure people have better trips, and I think that if we're not adding value to people's lives, whether by bringing joy or entertainment or helping them, save money or have a better trip, then there's no sense in doing the content, right? We've never been a company that's been focused on putting ourselves out there or building our own kind of celebrity, I guess. it's always been about what can we do to make sure that people have a better time and don't spend as much money, and don't eat at gross restaurants. So that's always been the goal and will always be the goal. And that's something that also, when you're kind of figuring out, again, like I said, the algorithm's going to change, the business plan is going to change every year. That's the thing that you need to always be focused on, is what's your ultimate outcome. And if your ultimate outcome is to help people and provide value, you can always find your way to that, right? Like, you can always figure out how to get there, because you can always see, okay, what do people need right now? So it's actually a really good kind of guiding factor.
Right. So, do you have a selfish goal that you would like to see? Because that was very selfless. You want to help people,
it's selfish in that that makes me feel like I'm living a life worth living,
Right.
like, so it's selfish in that way. Personally, no. I want to be able to pay my bills, I guess, because this is what I do full
Right.
time.
Like
But
genie's out of the bottle, giving you anything you want. Like for me, I would love for Disney to see my content at some point and be like, I like this guy's his personality, I like his voice, let's put him in a movie. I would love to voice a Disney character.
Really, you'd want to voice a Disney character?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that sounds so cool. Yeah, I am not as ambitious as you are, Joey. I honestly don't. I think I'm just one of those people that just wants to kind of, gosh, I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to think of something big and bold, and I got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to be able, I guess it's very nice to not have a boss. Like, I don't get along very well with bosses. And so it's nice to be able to sort of uh, create my, to have a company that I get to call the shots. I think that's something that I maybe am selfishly happy that I've been able to create, because I really don't, bosses and I do not get along.
Well, for what it's worth, I think that you could voice a Disney character.
Okay.
I was telling someone at my day job today that I was interviewing you, and I was like, you're the voice of Disney to me.
That's awesome.
Because
Thanks,
of
Joey.
how much your videos are on in our household. So you got a very good voice for what you do,
Yay.
and you could voice a character.
Oh, that would be really, really fun. I'm such a huge fan of Car Talk. I don't know if you've ever listened to Car Talk. It's an NPR show
I think
that
I've heard of it.
okay, and it's you will know the voices of the guys who do Car Talk, because they pulled them in to voice the Rusty's brothers. So they call them Click and Clack on the show, the radio. It's a radio show. But those are the voices they pulled them in. And so maybe something like that, where, like, Disney will be like, come and play yourself on, in a movie.
That would be pretty sweet. And Wreck-It Ralph 3, they go back into the internet and they go to Disney Food Blog's website.
I love it. Let's do that.
So that's everything. Why don't you go ahead and let everyone know where all the places they can find you again?
Sure. Yeah, so DisneyFoodBlog.com, allears.net, and then, of course, ajwolf.com is where you're going to see all the stuff about Disney Adults book. And all of my book signings and speaking engagements are coming up there as well.
Man, I completely forgot to talk about your book other than that brief. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. It's no worries.
Yeah,
I just love talking Disney with you. No problem.
Well, that is going to do it. It was a wonderful chat. Thank you so much for doing it. I did, before doing this, I asked my wife if she wanted to meet you, and she was like, no, I want to know what to say. But
well, it is awesome to meet you, and
yes.
Please tell your wife and your boys I said hi, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
All right, Joey. Thanks. I'll see you soon.
All right, that was an absolute incredible chat. Great conversation. Great to meet her. It was a great time. I don't know what else to say, but just remember, you can follow me anywhere at People Call Me Joey. You can go ahead and email me at People Call Me Joey, Joey at Castle Explorers Travel Advisor if you want travel help. And make sure you go follow Disney Food Blog if you're not already. That's crazy. Go follow them everywhere, YouTube especially. But that's going to do it. It's been another wonderful chat around the fire. Have a great night, everybody. Or morning. Whenever you're listening to this.